Hello and welcome to Stumped Down the Leg Side, the cricket discussion show on Bizz 99.9 FM Substitute Radio. I'm your host Chukka Wilson. Welcome to the program. In this episode, I want to talk about ticket prices, cricket fans, and that ever-present, ever-burdensome problem of the declining in-ground attendance to cricket matches. Fewer and fewer people are making the effort to pay money and see the game live in the ground, preferring instead to watch it on television, which has resulted in major international matches having grandstands almost entirely absent of people. It's such a bizarre sight to watch a game of Test or one-day international cricket being played in an almost empty ground. It is quite common for cricket commentators to put two and two together and make the reasonable assumption that lower fan attendance to cricket matches must be because of the decline in interest in these international cricket contests. If the cricket was interesting and enjoyable, then obviously everyone would come in to watch it. So if the cricket is being played but no one has bothered to show up, this must mean that no one cares about this match. But is this an appropriate way of understanding the cricket attendance problem? Should this be the way that we discuss and debate and explore the possible solutions to this problem? Or maybe this is a misleading and problematic thing to do, and we should actually be looking at the question from a completely different angle and judging it according to a completely different set of criteria. It's time for the free market to get off its profiteering backside and do something constructive for a change. Cricket officials, journalists and fans have all located a concern surrounding cricket games: the attendance levels. It's hard, though not impossible, to get people in to see test matches. It is a zero-hope task to get a good crowd for a limited overs international. 2020 games, on the other hand, get packed stands. How can the crowd numbers be increased? The smart remedy that should be prescribed to the officials should be to dilute the material objectives. They should analyse the situation on a practical platform so as to make accurate adjustments to the needs of their customers, the fans. Therefore, they must target the material conditions and increase demands on an authentic medium. To put simply, the prices of tickets should be lowered. What officials as marketers don't understand is that fans of cricket will always want to see the cricket game. The desire is constant. That's because they hold a genuine love for the sport. Marketers don't have a genuine love of anything. These people want to see their team play, even if things don't go the way they would like. Furthermore, what these marketers don't understand is these customers, the fans, are working class people. The question that goes through their minds is their wallets. Can they actually afford to go to the cricket? Or must they be fiscally conservative, take it on the chin, and not go despite the desire? If this money problem is to be solved, whereas going to the cricket is cheap and easily manageable in the family budget, then it is natural for fans to increase their attendance. These marketers don't understand what it's like to be working class cricket fans. They seem to have this belief, perhaps it's a class difference, perhaps it's a personality difference, that everyone is like them, wealthy and having an indifference to all social and cultural activities. Everyone can afford to go at all times, and the point in question of yay or nay is simply if the desire to go to the cricket is there. Marketers believe this, and we come to what their prescription is, what they believe to be the map to amending the lack of attendance crisis, is an increase in marketing, putting more money and effort into advertising and sponsorship dealings, thus encouraging people into going into these matches. The fans simply have a lack of desire to attend the cricket, and that can be changed by having extra advertisements. Now, if everyone in Australia was wealthy and had an indifference to cricket, that idea would make sense. But when one looks at the substantial reality of the situation, the conclusion is clear. That idea is totally garbage, and those marketers couldn't think their way around a lamppost. It's time for cricket officials to stop this ugly profiteering off their fan base. The price of tickets must go down, food must go down, merchandise must go down. These ad campaigns may work in the short term. There may be a slight increase in attendance due to all the marketing done. But this won't be permanent and will hurt the cricketing economy in the long run. If a cricket-loving working-class family goes to see the game because of the extra advertisements, money grubbing at them all the time, their budget is ruined and they'll have to retreat into fiscal conservatism. They won't return to the cricket, even in a situation where they otherwise would because of desire. If officials neglect and abuse their major consumer fan base, the working class cricket fans, then they will feel the wrath when these families abandon outings in return for sitting at home and watching television. Professional cricket will collapse, at least from a personal level. The entire sporting culture of going into the city and watching the match will disappear. No one trying to catch the ball from a six, no more getting a player to sign your shirt, no more walking through the turnstiles, no more sunscreen or seagulls or beer in the plastic cups. I happen to have an old videotape recording of a one-day international match between Australia and the West Indies in the Caribbean in 1991. There were bands playing, barbecues, dancing and beach balls. What an amazing culture. That's what cricket used to be like. Instead, fans will resort to watching the pixel-filled boxes in their lounge rooms. The fans will no longer have a personal connection between them and the ground, the players, other fans or the city. Not attending games, but watching them at home will cause horrific individualism. The great culture of cricket is when the fan base all comes together to watch as a collective. You feel part of something larger than yourself. You're a part of a huge family, a people even. But keep them alone, the unity of the fan dies, and the identity of being a cricket fan is isolating. I have always been a great critic of free market capitalism. But, for once in its existence, it could actually do something right by pushing ticket prices downwards. It makes sense for the free market, the great leveller so-called, to take control of the ticket prices. If the attendance level is too low, the price must be decreased, which will naturally increase the demand. If the attendance level is high, the price increases slightly to maximize profitability of the match. It's simple. That's how proper business economic management works. It is not economically smart to have the ticketing price unjustly high and inflexible. Those marketers have a lot to answer for. It's not as though it's monetarily impractical to lower the price of tickets. The main cricket economy is through television. The majority of cricket fans at any time are people who live in other countries and other states. People who cannot go see the game live even if they desired to do so. Tens of millions of fans across the world have no choice but to turn on the televisions to watch the game. Television networks compete in multi-million-dollar deals for broadcasting rights. The money made from in-ground fans, attendance, food, etc. is pitiful in comparison. It doesn't make any sense to profiteer the fans when such little can be gained. And even if it had somewhat of a role, cricket organisations regularly get million-dollar profits. They can afford a passing blow here and there. But in saying this, fan enjoyment of watching cricket on television is a lot more volatile. I can testify having watched many games of cricket broadcast from many places in the world. It's far greater a cricket watching experience when there's a large crowd at the game than when there's an empty stand. It's both from a visual and an audio level experience. In 2003-04, Australia toured Sri Lanka. It was the opening one-day international of the tour. Believe me, it was an amazing game to watch. The stands were packed full of Sri Lankan cricket fans. With so many people there, the sounds of them chatting gave me the sensation of cricket realism. There were bands playing music, not synthetic noises over the PA, but live and natural music. As the camera panned around the ground and showed the stands full of fans, it gave the feeling that this is where the important things are happening in the world. Watching this game was significant. I almost felt as though I was there with the Sri Lankan people, having fun and watching the game live. On the other hand, when I watched the 2009-10 match between Australia and the West Indies at Brisbane, the feeling was quite the opposite. The gigantic stands were empty. There was no noise other than what the players made themselves. I couldn't help but feel that this game was unimportant. There were more urgent things in life that needed to be done outside of cricket. If it weren't for the fact that it's my job to watch sports, I would have turned the television off and gone and done something else. The attendance level plays such a vital role to the viewing experience of television. When the cricket is more enjoyable, the game feels more important and watching becomes addictive and compulsive. So it makes sense from a cricket marketing point of view to do whatever it can to have high attendance levels at matches. Things will really get interesting if the game intensity, the attendance levels, begins to play a role on the bottom line. Television producers discover that when crowds are lower, their ratings are lower and they lose money. When that happens, the cricket officials see that their multi-million-dollar contracts are under threat because of a low fan base coming to the game. You can bet that they will change their ways. They will lower the price of tickets, which will allow all cricket-loving working-class fans to come to the ground and watch the game that they so deeply desire to watch. And cricket will be saved from those petty, narrow-minded, selfish marketers. And that's the end of the program. You've been listening to Stumped Down the Leg Side, the cricket discussion show on Bizz 99.9 FM Substitute Radio. I'm Chukka Wilson. Until next time, keep practicing, keep your eye on the ball, and remember to turn your wrists.